What up, y'all? It's your man, Abuamerican, doing this whole new camera thing here. Man, you know what? I wanted to talk about something. This is more of a rant than it is anything else. But it's a trend that I've noticed for quite some time, about 2 years now. And it's actually, I heard a French PM make the statement, and I was looking for the quote. I can't find it, unfortunately. But she basically said, if you want to make a name for yourself in the 21st century, then all you have to do is speak bad about Islam and Muslims. And I've noticed the trend increase itself greatly in the past 2 years, that if you want to make a political name for yourself, then speak bad about Muslims. Now, unfortunately, because Muslims have a lot of idiots inside their ranks, aka ISIS, Daesh, whatever you want to call them, and these, multiple terrorist groups, then, they kind of give the enemies of Islam ammunition to shoot at us with. And it's kind of like, your enemy's got a gun. Why do you give them bullets? So you can't totally blame them, but at the same time you can, because what a lot of guys are doing are making ridiculously stupid statements that don't make any sense. I want to start off with one guy. He works for Infowars.com. Paul Joseph Watson, I think his name is. This guy, and like I said, there's a rant, so bear with me. This guy, I heard him talking. And he was so ignorant I had to actually stop following him on YouTube and Twitter, because he's just so stupid. He says, the Muslims are invading the West under a principle they have in Islam called Hijra. He means Hijra. Now, anybody who has half an iota of sense and understanding of Islam understands that Hijra is from a non-Muslim country to a Muslim country, not the other way around. Anyone who has a remote understanding of Islam knows that it is impermissible for a Muslim to leave a Muslim land to go live in a non-Muslim land, except for multiple reasons: study, medical care, and to give dawah, aka call and teach people to the religion of Islam. That's it. You're not even allowed to make vacation to non-Muslim countries, according to the vast majority of Islamic scholars. Unless you listen to them funny duddy dudes like, what's that guy's name? Yusuf Qaradawi, who makes almost everything permissible. Otherwise, Hijra is one way. Then he goes on about this, he calls it a fatouche game or something. Apparently they call it the rape game. And he makes it sound like it's an Islamic thing. Now, in my Now That You're a Muslim 101 book, I didn't read about the fatouche thing. Maybe when I go to the advanced AP class, they'll say, oh yeah, we've got a rape game in Islam. But apparently this is a cultural thing that some people in some countries practice, and it's not a religious thing, because, we don't do that. We don't rape people. We have sexual contact with women through marriage. We have polygamy. Fine, you want to throw something on the bus for that? Whatever. We ain't like you guys marrying gay people and banging each other in the poop chute. So, I don't know what's worse. Apparently that's having multiple women is worse than letting a guy dick you in the butthole. But fine. Whatever, Paul Joseph Watson. If you can find me Islamic proof showing that there's a fatouche game or whatever the hell you call it, wherever you look this up, you fart twit, show it to me, please. Now there's another guy, Black Pigeon Speaks. Eloquent speaker, beautiful speech. He's amazing the way he puts things together. Another guy, Stephen Molyneux, he does the same thing. Another eloquent speaker, but completely ignorant of the foundations of Islam. Now, Black Pigeon Speaks goes on about all sorts of stupidity. First, he makes this video about the decline of the West. And he starts off with pretty much the decline of the West. How, women are running around naked, whoring themselves out, gay marriage, all this stuff. And then somehow he manages to throw Muslims under the bus for all of that crap, despite the fact that we oppose everything that he brought up. Since when do you find Muslims advocating women walking around in micro bikinis? When do you find Muslims advocating gay marriage? And I'm going to come to that because he talks about the Muslim mayor of London who actually voted pro-gay marriage a few years ago, which is a very un-Islamic thing to do. But hey, let's keep on going. Then he talks about polygamy and pedophilia and all this stuff. And all the examples he gives are from non-Muslims pushing for these laws and rules to be loosened in the West. He didn't bring one single example of Muslims advocating this in the West, but he threw Muslims under the bus for it. Things that, when you look at the average practicing Muslim, the ones you call the moderate Muslims, you know that they are by technicality, like center right when you look at like non-Muslims. They would be comparable to center right, and the more practicing you get, the further right they would be in non-Muslim political ideology, if you will. If you want to say that there's a political ideology to Islam, which is also crap. But fine, fair enough. We're going to go with the stupidity of these idiots who speak very eloquently, unlike me, but don't make any sense. They're speaking like absolute gibberish, which is what Black Pigeon Speaks just did. How is it, Mr. Black Pigeon Speaks, that you can equate Muslims and Islam to things that we don't have anything to do with, nor do we advocate, in the religion nor interpersonally? Now, I am against immigration. Fine, fair enough. And there's two reasons why. First and foremost, I don't get along with these people culturally. I'm a Westerner by birth. I just don't get along with these people. I can't understand them. Secondly, they have a different practice of Islam, so I can't get along with them religiously. Why the hell would I want them here? If I could at least get along with them religiously, I could deal with not being able to speak with them or talk with them or vibe with them and chill out and say, hey, you know what, we got something in common socially. At least I can say Islamically, we pray the same way. We have the same Islamic beliefs and practices. But I can't even do that. So what do I want them here for? Well, is it going to strengthen my numbers? No, those dudes are going to throw me under the bus. They're just as racist as you, homeboy. So I'm not really following you here. Anyway, let's go on to Mr. Muslim Mayor of the West. Mr. I'm Muslim but vote pro-gay marriage. Really? Really? Is that the best example you got? Then he says he threatened Donald Trump. The guy said that, like, if you go on with anti-Islamic rhetoric, he's basically saying something along the lines of this, that it will make the situation worse. And now he's saying that the Muslim mayor of London is threatening him. No, he's making a simple statement. Like, if you antagonize people, they're going to want to antagonize you back. How is that not common sense? If you come along and antagonize me, what do you think I'm going to do in return to you? Just come up to me as an absolute stranger on the street. You don't know if I'm Muslim. You don't know if I'm Christian. You don't know if I'm Jew. I come up and I start antagonizing you. What do you think you're going to do? Are you going to respond in kind? Oh my gosh. Yes, a human attribute. You fart twit. But people like this, they get thousands upon thousands upon thousands of followers based upon their anti-Islamic stance. Fine, I get it. But can you at least please stick to the facts? Unfortunately, the Muslims give you enough to hold against them that you don't have to start making up lies. Don't make up lies. If you would say something truthful, he did say a few things that were truthful, like them idiots, those morons who went out and cut that dude's head off in public. What's his name? Rigby? There's some Muslim guys in London who apparently attacked a soldier. Everybody knows the story. It's famous. They attacked this soldier guy, Rigby something, and they killed him, which is not really an Islamic principle. I talked about this in another video about the peace treaties that Muslims are under when they come to a Muslim country, and that the peace treaty that the non-Muslims are under when they come to a Muslim country. If you are allowed into a Muslim country as a Muslim, I'm going to go over this again for idiots out there who believe this stupidity. If you're a Muslim who comes to a non-Muslim country and that non-Muslim country lets you in, that means they have put you under a treaty of peace. It's passive and it's active at the same time, meaning as long as you come here and you follow the laws, we will not harass you. A Muslim doesn't break his oaths, and you make an oath by accepting entering into the country that you come there peacefully. Same thing applies vice versa. If a non-Muslim is allowed by the Muslim government to enter into a country, aka, let's say, like the French guys who came to Saudi Arabia and they were killed, they were under a treaty of peace by the Saudis. And what did the Saudis do? They went and they shot them dudes down. They cut them down. It's like, look, you killed French people that we let in the country. They're here to do a job. Who told you that you were allowed to go and kill them? Islamically, it's not allowed to do that. But no, idiots, they believe anything and everything. And that's the beauty of propaganda. Propaganda is not designed to fool critical thinkers. It's designed to give moral cowards an excuse not to think at all. And that's what I think 90% of the world are. Moral cowards, and that's why guys like this can make their name and their great followings off of the back of Islam. It's cheap, it's foolish, it's stupid. If you want to talk about Muslims who go out and do stupid things, hey, you know what? I'll even give you a high five on that one. Even though I have love for Muslims in general, I don't have love for the idiots who go out and do stupid stuff. Because what are they practicing? You have to learn to differentiate between Muslims and Islam. The two are not the same. And like I said in a prior video, alhamdulillah, all praise is due to Allah, I became a Muslim before I met them. Because the two aren't the same. When you read about Islam and the practices that a Muslim is supposed to practice, and then you look at what the Muslims are doing, the two don't match. Anyway, if you want to see me like get a huge following, you know what I'd have to do? All I have to do is like make up some crazy channel. Oh, I left Islam because I'm not leaving Islam. I'm just saying, I guarantee get famous if I made some YouTube channel saying that I left Islam and I'm the truth of Islam from an ex-Muslim revert or whatever else. Man, I'd have from close to my 300 followers now to 300,000 tomorrow. It's cheap. It's stupid. It's not even based upon reality. It's not even based upon the facts. Guys are reaching so far nowadays that they're making stuff up. Do you really want to be associated with morons like that? Your desire to be associated with guys like Stefan Molyneux when he speaks on Islam, Paul Joseph Watson and Black Pigeon Speaks, and the vast majority of these other idiots out there should be the same level of my desire to be associated with like ISIS and Daesh, which is next to null. I just don't know what to say sometimes, man. I hear this foolishness. It's like utter foolishness. And you know, I understand why people fall for it because they're so eloquent. They speak so well. They speak with such, you know, calm and cool voices, and they don't show any emotion, and they don't get excited like I do, and they speak in monotone tones with big words, and there's quite, what's the word for using big words in sentences? Sesquipedalic. Yeah, they're quite sesquipedalic in their speech, and you know, it sounds really good. And they quote things that aren't related to other things, but they make it seem like it's related to other things, and it sounds all brainy and great. But you know what? Just selling turds as chocolate cake. I don't know, maybe it's just a sign of our times. I mean, we are heading into basically, like, if you haven't seen the movie Idiocracy, then you need to go watch it, and that's the times we're heading into. And it makes sense as to why people are falling for the foolishness. Okay, you don't like Islam, you don't like Muslims. Fine, fair enough. I understand that they're going with the case-selected idea of preference to the in-group. I understand they have preference to their in-group. I get it. I get it. I do. And I can understand that. I won't disagree with that. Fine, fair enough. But, I mean, I don't want to get into relativism and comparatives and whatnot. But if we were to, like, use a comparative that people could understand, we had 300 plus years of slavery based off the foundation of Christian ideas. The what's that thing called? The Crusades. Multiple thousands of people killed off Christian ideas. I mean, really, we could do this all day. The KKK, Christian ideas. But how Christian are they? When we talk to Christians in general, how Christian are they? We have the same problem in Islam with Muslims. You know, but fine, fair enough. You guys want to believe foolishness. You want to believe idiots. Then knock yourself out, please. But if you come here to Abuamerican, you're going to get the truth. And that's probably why I have so few subscribers, because truth is always ugly. It's not pretty. You know, maybe I'm bigging myself up, but I'm going to tell you stuff that's going to force you to think, that's going to force you to go do your homework. How many people have I asked? Where's the 72 virgin quote? How many of you on my channel have I asked? Go ahead and show me the Islamic text for the 72 virgins. Show it to me. Nobody's come back. Where are you? Why didn't you bring back 100 subscribers with you? Because I ask you questions that you can't answer. I make you think. I don't just give you something that fits into your preconceived negative ideology about something. It's too difficult. Me making you think is too difficult. That's why I'm happy with the 200, nearly 300 subscribers I have. Because that means that those people who are listening have common sense about themselves. Yeah, high five to you guys. I'm giving you a little butt kiss now. I'm kissing your butts. Anyway, this is your man, Abuamerican, man. I'm like getting sick and tired of like seeing this stuff. I'm getting sick and tired of being sick and tired. I really am. It's driving me nuts to hear these idiots speak. And I walk around. I'm going to get an aneurysm, man. You people. Anyway, next time you hear something foolish about that type of anti-Islam talk from a non-Muslim who obviously hasn't spent any time studying Islam, think about it. Really think, is there some sort of Islamic textual proof to this? Because that's how we operate in Islam. We operate off textual proof. We don't go by people's culture. If someone's got a fatouche game, that's his culture. There's no Islamic text for that. If someone's got some sort of hijra, reverse hijra, where you make a move for life from a Muslim country to a non-Muslim country, Show me an Islamic text for that. I'd like to see it. That's probably why Black Pigeon and Paul Joseph Watson and Stephen Molyneux are all making stuff up nowadays. Because they just don't know. And they need the followers. They want the followers. They want the fame more than they want to establish what the truth is. Let me ask you something. If you're ignorant, why are you speaking? And if you're a liar, why are we listening? It's your man Abuamerican. Catch me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all at Abuamerican. I'm out.